Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Last time I spoke to this man, it was a week and a half before Orthodox Easter at the Newport Beach Film Festival for American Wrestler. And here we are a week and a half after Orthodox Easter for its sequel, American Fighter. George, how are you today?
Good. How's it going? Good to talk to you again.
Good, man. Christos Anesti before I forget.
Alitos Anesti.
Yeah. Man, you know, this is your franchise now, you know.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Hey, you know, a Greek kid playing a Persian, you know, I would have been surprised if this was another 300 spinoff.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's slightly, I mean, both were based on true stories. I told Ali Afshar that if he had replaced wrestling with soccer, the first movie would have been my cousin's story. And then,
Wow.
you know, this one, you're sitting there, and again, loosely based on true life events. But now there's a reason to fight. Instead of just honor and standing up for yourself, it's to get your mother who's sick in Iran over to the United States.
Yes.
Yeah. When you make a movie like this that deviates not exactly so much from the original, but you know, it's a different writing crew, it's a different director. How do you try to stay true to the origins of the original film while dealing with so much more and the complexities of this story?
I think Ali and I were two of the only people who came from the original film, and we tried our best to just keep that heart that was in the first one. And it being Ali's story, I think he and I had a strong connection with what his family went through and everything that the first one was about. We did our best to just keep that through line and carry it through. It did feel funny sometimes. I felt like explaining, like, no, actually, like I felt like the encyclopedia of this story in a way sometimes, because Ali and I like lived it so intimately on the first one that like we kind of were trying to express to the crew and to the team, you know, where we were going for each time. But we did our best, and I think it does ring true and come through in a great way. The whole part of trying to save his mom from Iran was very personal to Ali, and she was sick when he was young, and so there was a lot of elements that made it feel real.
Right. And this is the second time that you got to work with Sean Patrick Flanery.
Yes.
You know, Born a Champion was the other film, which was a fantastic film as well. You know, what's it like coming back for a sophomore project with Sean? Because, you know, Sean's a bit of a heavy hitter.
Yeah, he really is. I actually just co-produced Born a Champion, so I wasn't in it. So it was interesting to go from you know, just working with Sean from a producing standpoint to then being on screen with him. I think it made our relationship that much better, and we knew each other that much more when we were filming, and we're more comfortable with each other. So he was great to work with. He was a great coach. He does jiu-jitsu in real life and all kinds of MMA sorts of things, and so he was able to kind of walk me through a lot of the stuff on set and helping me with my choreo and all kinds of things.
Right. I know he trains at one of the Henzo Gracie academies over in Houston.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not like he's a slouch or anything.
No.
You know, the film is dealing with pit fighting. You know, this is pre-mixed martial arts. This is pre all the MMA stuff. Karate was still a big thing at the time, but the underground pit fighting, like Van Damme's Lionheart movie, was a big part of, you know, the late 80s setups for that. What was it like, again, revisiting the 80s era for you, and then now doing like your own version of a Lionheart type film?
The period aspect of it was a lot of fun. We love that so much, and those are the movies we grew up watching, kind of thing. And so it was fun to try to make one that felt and seemed like it came from that time. And also the fighting was an interesting sort of challenge. We wanted to make sure the fighting was moves that they would actually be doing back then, and not the styles that they would be doing now in MMA, because back when this movie was taking place, MMA didn't exist yet. And so that was fun, but it was a challenge at times. And yeah, being compared to movies like Lionheart, or even like, you know, growing up, fight movies like Never Back Down were my favorite, and I've seen that people talking about this being similar to that, and being able to be in a film compared to one of my favorite films growing up is just a dream come true.
Yeah. Now, does your mom look at you and go, "What's with all the violent films that you're taking part in?"
No, she hasn't seen this one yet, and she's very scared. I've showed her the trailer a few times, and she just every time she's like, I can't watch. She hates seeing me all bloody, and I'm like, Mom, it's not real, it's okay. And it's hard for her to watch.
Right. She tells you she's scared to see you bloody, yet when you were little, she probably hit you with the slippers God knows how many times, or you know.
Exactly.
It's only okay if you're bleeding at by her hand, not anybody else.
No one else can make me bleed but my mama.
Yeah. No, but this film is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's darker than the original one, but it's still very much an immigrant story in dealing with trying to get his mom out of Iran, in dealing with trying to get her medical attention that she needs, here in the United States. And I love the aspect of the only way to get her out is that you have to spend $30,000+ and go through an alternative route to help her escape, because that's the only way during the Iran-Iraq war that you would have been able to get her out.
Yes. Yes. From the research we've done and the things that I was told about that, it was nearly impossible to get out of the revolution at that time. And trying to come to America was a dream of many people, but not a lot of people could come. And so in the film, we sort of came up with this way for me to try to figure out a way to make a lot of money as quick as possible. And my co-star Brian Craig introduces me into underground fighting, and that's my avenue of trying to get my mom home.
Well, you guys do something right in this picture because it's intense.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun.
Now you, what's it called? I don't remember if the lady that plays your mom in this one also played your mom in the first one.
Same woman, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. When you get to revisit that aspect of the story and bring it home, because I'm trying not to give away too much of the film, in the conversation, because I want people to see it. How is it for you to sit there and understand, you're first generation American as well, right?
I'm actually second generation, but both of my parents are first. So
okay. So they understand what your grandparents went through to get to the United States.
Yes.
And so you have that tie as well. When you see this immigrant story being played out for people, and it's not this just, rah-rah patriotic type thing, it was the easiest way to get here. What has the reaction been from general audiences as they're witnessing what's going on with these characters?
I think it speaks to people in a way that's more grounded and realistic of how it really was to try to come to America at these times that were really challenging for their countries. I remember when we would be screening the first film, a lot of people would stand up and during the Q&As crying and saying, "This movie is my story." And we had so much, it felt so great, and I had so much respect for these people who went through this in real life, and this story is able to move them and connect them with the time for them that was just it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that this is how it was to try to get to America.
Yeah. It also is poignant that you're from the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. And the initial story takes place in Petaluma, so it's still relatively close to home.
Yes.
How much does that add to the realism of the experience for you when you don't have to go that far to the set?
It feels exactly the way you're saying. It feels weirdly at home in Petaluma. I actually grew up in Sacramento, in Rockland, a small town that's very similar to Petaluma, and being there. Now I live in LA now, but being there, it was like a flashback to my own childhood, and it just brought a lot of the setting, and that being where Ali actually grew up and was from. It just brought so much realism to the film, and kind of when we go shoot the movies in Petaluma, it feels like we kind of travel back in time in a way, and it's kind of fun. All right, so I have to ask, what's the third installment going to look like? That's what everyone's been saying. We don't know. We're not sure yet, but if Ali and I can come up with something, we're ready to do it. So if you got any ideas, let us know. Yeah, you become an NCAA coach. Yeah, we thought NCAA coach. In real life, Ali becomes a race car driver, professional race car driver. So we always joke about American Racer being the third one, and he just makes a left turn and becomes a race car driver because that's what happened in real life. So we don't know, right. Maybe. Well, in the first one, what was great was that at the end of the film, and I'm not giving it away because if they haven't watched American Wrestler yet, shame on them. Exactly. There's the highlight reel of Ali wrestling in Petaluma. Yes. When you get to watch not only the way he wrestled,
but how he helped train your style for the first one, and then that continues to evolve for this one. How significant is that for you to sit there and go, wow, this guy was a state champion, and here he is helping coach me, train for the film?
Yeah, it was honestly a real blessing because I knew nothing about wrestling when the first one came about, and Ali took me under his wing and taught me literally everything I knew about wrestling. And it was funny because like knowing him, not knowing he was a wrestler, and you wouldn't think he still knows all the moves and he still knows how to take people down, but he was like the best little wrestler out there. And I mean, he's a movie producer now, but he's still the best little wrestler on the mat. So it was really cool to be able to learn from him.
Right. And he was a Power Ranger.
And he was a Power Ranger, voice of a Power Ranger, but right. A Power Ranger.
Still, he got to be a Power Ranger.
He was a Power Ranger. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
See, wrestler, Power Ranger, race car driver.
Yeah. It all fits. American Ranger, American Racer. American Racer is not crazy, but
no, go for it, man. That's your third installment right there.
Exactly. There you go. Came up with it on here.
Too many injuries from American Fighter, so you had to find another way to keep making money. Boom. Now you're American Racer.
Exactly. He couldn't fight anymore. Put him in a car. Yeah, I love it. I think I could see that.
See?
I can see that. I could see it.
And now Ali's going to sit there and go, okay, maybe we can make this work.
Yeah. Yeah. Ali, definitely watch this. Take this into consideration when you watch it.
Yeah. You sit there and you're making movies, and, you're from Sacramento. Now you're in LA. There's obviously at some point where you said, you know what, I'm going to give this acting thing a try. Mm-hmm. You didn't go into the standard businesses of medicine, law, business, engineering, whatever else, the typical Mediterranean 5 fields of study.
Right.
And you decided to become an actor. What does that mean for you to, cast all of those traditional type of career choices to the side and go, no, I'm going to do this as my career choice?
It means a lot. I think when I was graduating high school, I had that same plan: go to business school and become some business person like my brother is. And it felt like I didn't really think I had a choice. I just was going to be doing that. And as senior year came around, I started to like sort of have this revelation of we do only have one life. We do only get one chance to try what we want to try. And you always hear people saying, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. And I had just like, I don't know, I was hearing a lot of that, and it sort of inspired me to just, put all the pressure of the world aside and go after what I've always dreamed of being. And it sounded crazy when I announced it to my parents, and they thought like, what do you mean an actor? We don't know any actors. We can't be an actor. And at first it was kind of a bit of a battle, but now they're in full support and they love it, and it's a blast for them, and they love seeing all the movies come out and telling their friends. And so it was just really about following your heart and doing something that makes you happy. Because I've seen people who do something that makes them happy for a living are just happier people. You can make a lot of money going into business or being a doctor, being a lawyer, but are you happy? I don't know.
Right. Well, what gets you more brownie points with your folks or bragging rights for them with their friends? Our son, the actor, or our son, the film producer?
Yeah, I think the actor is more exciting for everybody. I actually just met my mom's friend the other day, and they go, "Oh, this is the actor," and I'm like, "Yes, I'm the actor." Everyone loves it. I'm like the little family Hollywood hero.
So you're the favorite son now?
Yeah, I was always the favorite son, but now it's just everyone knows.
Your brother had his thing for a while, and they're like,
exactly.
"Oh,
exactly."
He went to UC Davis or whatever, and then
we actually both went to USC, but we were going to go to UC Davis when we lived up there. That was like the talk of our life. Go to UC Davis, UC Davis. But we both went to USC.
Yeah. So you couldn't get away from your brother. You both had to go to USC.
Yeah, I even went to USC majoring in business. And then like the first semester, I just said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I started auditioning.
Oh, man. All right, George, I know we're running out of time, so you got to let me know, and everybody else, why do they need to watch American Fighter?
You like action-packed movies with heart that leave you feeling inspired, definitely go see American Fighter. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making it. It stars Tommy Flanagan, Patrick Flanery, Brian Craig. It's part 2 of an amazing movie called American Wrestler, and if you like sports movies, if you like Rocky, if you like Never Back Down, if you like Lionheart, you're gonna love it.
Perfect, man. Thank you so much for your time. Where can we find you on social media?
I'm at George Kosturos on everything, mostly on Instagram, but at George Kosturos is my name.
Perfect. Thank you so much, George. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you
Let's
again.
not be strangers, as often.
Definitely. Yeah, let's talk again soon, huh?
All right, you got it. Take care.
All right.